Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60, and I still don't have my brakes, I still don't have the tool to do my diff. What a wicked week we've had, but the car is on the hoist. Now, I am changing the oil. This is something that I don't think people that run big power do enough. That oil's only done about 1,000 Ks, but it was the oil that was in there just after I did the turbos, and I just want to make sure it's always got good oil in it. It's actually been draining for about 10 minutes, I think. And the other thing we're doing today, I have 4 genuine Bosch, not genuine BMW, but basically the same parts that come in the BMW boxes, 4 genuine Bosch O2 sensors, and I want to get them in. If you've been following along, you probably know I'm not overly comfortable in the Chinese O2 sensors. At the end of the day, they are the only thing that controls the fuel going into the engine. So if one of those sensors is off or any of the wiring's a bit dicky, that's how you blow your motor up. Now the reason I've moved all of doing this to today, the day after tomorrow, I want to take this car roll racing. So roll racing in Queensland, they do it at, I guess, the main track in the state, Queensland Raceway. And really it's just like street racing, but legal. It's brilliant, but the interesting thing is that there's some properly quick cars there. I think they end up doing sort of like an elimination towards the end of the night, and the car that won last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, he's in a GDR and he's doing 100 to 200 in like 3.2 seconds. So like properly quick cars. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing goes. I'm pretty concerned about blowing it up. I'm not going to hide that. Like when I got this car, it was not that well maintained. It'd been sitting for 6 months. And all I've really done to it is caught up on the maintenance and then bolted some big turbos on and just started running really silly PSIs. So I really don't know how long the engine's going to last. I'm probably only going to run 25 PSI for roll racing because I know I'm going to get carried away and I just don't want to hurt it yet. But yeah, basically today, O2 sensors, oil change, and a general check over underneath to get it ready for the weekend. Yeah, looking forward to Saturday night. Should be good. Should get some good footage and even get some decent draggy times. Hopefully I can get this to 200 in the roll racing strip. And that's going to be the best chance to get the best draggy time on the best surface I'm ever going to be able to drive this on. So I'm going to get on with it. I'll let the oil keep draining and I'll get it up in the air and we'll get cracking on. I'm going to do the rear O2s first. Also, I forgot to mention, JSR has confirmed that the flex map is doing everything it should. So hopefully if everything goes to plan, at the end of this video, we'll go out and we'll do a 27 PSI log with the flex map and E60. And then, depending on how I go, I might not bother trying to get pump fuel in this because I need to have E85 in it for roll racing. But we'll see how we go. But hopefully at the end of this, we'll go and do a decent pull with the flex map. Anyway, I'll keep going. So the shocks are still, well, they are surprisingly dirty. Bloody rain is terrible. But shocks are all looking good. I do need to get these purple boots actually cable tied onto the shock body, which I should have done when I installed them, but I didn't. Where are we? These are the O2 sensors I'm going to swap out. Now these are the aftermarket ones that I fitted probably about 2 months ago. I will link to that video. They worked better than what was in there, but I'm just a little bit concerned because they are cheap Chinese universal things. Going to get the proper Bosch ones in there. Oil's still draining out. The oil smells quite E85y, but it always does. And I'll just sort of show some people while we're on the flex train at the moment. That is the fuel-it analyzer. Yeah, on a GM sensor. That's how I got the setup here. I've used an aftermarket. It is E85 compatible fuel line. But that's how I've got mine set up at the moment. I've actually ordered everything to make a proper AN braided line for the fuel, which I will do hopefully in the next month or so, because I want to have AN fittings all the way to the fuel rail and to the high pressure pump. But yeah, front shocks all looking how they should. And this is going to be the chance where I just tighten all of the suspension joints, bolts, everything, just to make sure nothing's come loose since they were fitted. Alright guys, so as I said before, I'll put a link to when I fitted these last time. I managed to actually do it without removing the downpipes of the exhaust, so I'm going to try and attempt that again, because it'll be nice and quick. So I'll get them swapped out. Actually, I'll let that keep draining, but I'll get these swapped out, and I'll give you an update once I've done that, and I'm going to try and do the front ones as well, which are a bit harder to get to. All right, that is both of the rear O2s out. If you've got VRSF downpipes, it's actually not too bad to get them out without undoing the downpipes. That took probably 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got the original, I think that one is for the left-hand side pipe, and that one is for the right-hand side pipe. It definitely is, and you can just tell which ones they are because they've got the color-coded plugs on the end. So I just thought I'd show you quickly, the aftermarket ones that I got a few months ago are the, I think from memory, these are an NTK style of sensor, and although it made my car run better than the original Bosch ones did, it's just not, it's not the correct sensor. So this is what the ones were like that were in the car, and it's your normal Bosch style of O2. So I'm going to get those two fitted up, and I'll give you an update once that's done. Well, the new O2s are in. That was surprisingly painless. Although I can't remember exactly how these wires route, but I've just made sure that they're not hanging down. But we've got two new genuine rear O2 sensors. This thing is getting spoiled right now. Now the front sensors are, I can't even show you on the camera, but I'm gonna pull this shield down and hopefully get good access to them in there. Let's get that open down and see if I can get up and reach both sensors. Okay, with that shield down, hopefully the GoPro is sort of picking it up, but we can see both O2 sensors there. Now, with the front one in place, it's a bit difficult to get my fingers on the rear one. So I'm going to get the front one off. Hopefully I can get it off with that short spanner. And then we'll attack the rear one. But it doesn't look too bad. Also, this is the first look I've had up in there since I fitted the turbos, and everything still looks dry, which is an absolute miracle. And I can't remember if I mentioned it before, but I do all of the O2 work with this mini adjustable spanner. So it's supposed to be up to 20 mil, but if you fully wind it open, it's a 22 mil spanner, and that's perfect size for O2 sensors, and it gets into a lot of niggly spots. Very good. All right, I'm going to struggle with this, and I'll let you know how we go. Okay, so I better give you guys an update. I've got both O2 sensors out, but it wasn't after a bit of a struggle. I am now rocking forearms that an emotional teenager would be proud of. Yeah, my trusty little tool, which I put down somewhere, that short spanner, got the front O2 sensor out super quickly. The one at the back, I just couldn't get it on the right angle to get it out, so I had to go and buy the proper tools. What a pain in the ass. So I had to go and get a O2 sensor remover, whatever they're called. Anyway, took 2 seconds once you had the right gear. Bit of a lesson for me. But we have the, well, I guess old and new sensors here ready to go. So that's the original Bank 1. That's the original Bank 2, and then we've got two new genuines. So these are both aftermarket ones. This sensor here, I bought from a local parts store here, and it was like $280 just for that, but I needed it that day, and it's not even a genuine sensor. It is an aftermarket sensor. There's no markings on it, where the proper Bosch ones have the Bosch part numbers on them. This one was an eBay special, a China sensor, but again, not genuine, and we now have the proper Bosch genuine ones. I'm going to get them fitted back up, and we're getting close to starting them. Alrighty, so hopefully you can see up in there we have both front O2 sensors connected. Both of the rears are replaced and connected. All this genuineness is amazing. We've got the sump plug back in. I've actually already filled it up with oil. Now, while I've been messing around with this today, the tool for the Diff actually turned up. Hopefully you can see it in there. Now, unfortunately, I ordered a 50mm open-ended crow's foot spanner type thing, and because it's a bit of a rare tool here, actually let me get it out of the car, none of the tool shops had any idea what a BMW was, but here's the tool here, and I knew that I couldn't be more than, I remember specifying it to the tool shop if it was more than 12mm or 15mm. But hopefully you saw when it was up in there, it won't actually fit in the gap. So I'm going to have to modify this a bit to undo that main nut on the drive shaft right there. But that's what I've been waiting on to fit this bloody Diff. And the reason I couldn't just put this one in, it has that type of flange, which I thought the 335 with the small Diff might have, but it doesn't. Anyway, now that we're going roll racing, that's going to be a job for next weekend. Everything's buttoned up. I think I can actually start her up, so I might lower it back down, and we'll do the first start after clearing all the O2 adaptations. All right, so we haven't actually connected the JB4 yet because the car's not on, but let's just turn the ignition on, and I'm going to reset O2 adaptations. I'll see if I can do this like that. So you can see I'm in map 2, but I want to go to menu 1, round to that one there, which is menu 1 option 7, and that actually resets all the O2 and octane adaptations. So we'll connect the GB4, and then we can see if we've got readings from the O2 sensors. We do, both at 14.6. Let's start it up and see what it does. Okay, both got readings pretty quickly. And they're moving together. All right, nothing too scary there. I'm gonna let the car warm up because I've just put new oil in it. I'm gonna basically just do, actually I'll show you, we'll just do the oil check as soon as it loads. Info sources, service, engine oil level. So I'm gonna let that basically measure and just make sure I don't need to add any more oil. But once that's done, I think it'll be about ready to take it for a drive and see if it's any different. So if you remember when I did the first start after the turbos, I was concerned about a ticking noise. And you can hear it pretty much all the time. Although it was particularly bad just before, it's just shut up a little bit. You can hear it every now and again. It goes tink tink. Ticky N54s. I actually bought a stethoscope and the noise is louder on this side of the engine, and I initially thought it might be coming from the bottom, but it's definitely louder at the top of the engine. If I put the stethoscope onto one of the rocker cover bolts, I can hear that tick clear as day, and it's definitely louder on that side of the engine. So I don't think it's injectors. Fucking N54s. Scare me. Alright, the oil level's all set. I guess we can take it for a drive and just make sure it does drive how it's supposed to. Well, it's getting quite dark here, but I'm going to head out on a test drive. I'm not going to do the 27 PSI log on the flex map tonight. I'm just going to take it for a drive on map 2. So it's exactly how it was yesterday, with the only thing changed being the O2 sensors. Mainly just to try and get a better idea if they've changed anything. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll see you when I get back, or if we encounter any issues along the drive. Okay, just got back from the drive, and it didn't really make much of a difference. It felt exactly like it did before, and to be fair, it felt fine before. I was just looking at the O2s. They're still jumping around like they were with the other sensors, but I guess this was really just me feeling better about having genuine sensors in there and not cheap Chinese sensors. Now, I guess this video's been a bit scattered, but yeah, just to confirm, I'm going to take it roll racing on Saturday. I was thinking on this drive then, oh, it's feeling a bit slow. I guess I'm already getting concerned about getting walloped by much faster cars. But interestingly, 100 to 200 on map 2 with the JB4 at the moment is 8.08 seconds. Don't forget, that's only targeting like 17 or 18 PSI, and it tapers down on the red line as well. And I'm like, yeah, the car just doesn't feel the same on this map. So then I want to do a 100 to 200 in map 6, which is my 27 PSI target at the peak, and pardon me, and it was 6.16. So it is just as rapid as it was, and it was a bit of I really loaded it up heavy in third, which isn't ideal for the best time. So yeah, she's still rapid as hell. Looking forward to Saturday. Fingers crossed everything goes smoothly. I'm going to try and do some practice runs tomorrow with the 40k roll-ons. I just tried to launch this from a dig, and it is still impossible with the open diff. Like, it just does not put its power down. I didn't actually get a chance to check the time. I'll flash it up on the screen for you guys now. But yeah, it just spins the wheels as soon as it comes on the boost in second. And I found myself, I did 2 launches, I found myself short shifting second when it sort of really spins up. Then shift into third, but it would just spin through third past 100 k's an hour. So it's really hard to put the power down with the open diff still. So we'll see how it all turns out on Saturday. And then now I've got the tool to do the diff. Next week the diff's going to be going in. Fingers crossed my dick-ass brakes eventually turn up as well. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for now. Something you really do need to take away, and I probably should have said this about halfway through the video. If you're a right-hand drive trying to do the rear pre-cat O2 sensor, just get an O2 sensor socket like you're supposed to. Don't try and use a spanner like I've been using, because you'll look like a spanner. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. We will catch you tomorrow with an update on how to get this thing to launch from 40 k's an hour, or maybe some brakes. We'll see, we'll see. All right, peace.